Throughout the past 4 decades, Sylvester Stallone has become one of the most iconic figures in the film industry. First, there was Rocky, a dock worker who had hit rock bottom. A nobody who took advantage of a once-in-a-lifetime chance.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it.
Sylvester Stallone always wanted to be a Hollywood celebrity, but few people know this about him. He had aspirations of being an outstanding filmmaker, producer, and author.
You know what you are, what you're made of.
Of course, everyone he asked said it was impossible.
There's no such a thing.
But he was not the type to accept defeat easily. He had little success on the New York film scene, so he moved west to Los Angeles. Unfortunately, things weren't always roses and unicorns for him in the City of Angels. Even in Los Angeles, he had to work hard and try different things for a while.
Not exactly the welcome I was expecting.
His financial situation deteriorated to the point where he had to sell his wife's jewels without her knowledge or consent in order to cover their bills.
It really don't matter if I lose this fight. It really don't matter if this guy opens my head either. That's all I want to do is go the distance.
He slept on the floor of a bus station for a few nights while he was temporarily homeless. But the day he had to sell his dog because he could hardly afford to feed him was the worst of his severe troubles.
What are you gonna do? Reload.
Sylvester Stallone has had a long history of adversity. Yet he didn't mind scraping by on a meager income so long as he could keep trying out for parts of all shapes and sizes. To realize his goal of becoming a successful actor in Hollywood, he was prepared to endure anything.
If I stopped eating every time somebody tried to hurt me, I'd be a skeleton.
And later, in 1974, he won his first critical acclaim as an actor for his co-starring role as Stanley Rosiello in The Lords of Flatbush. Stallone subsequently found gradual work as an extra or side character in films with a sizable budget. Thankfully, his difficulties would not persist indefinitely. After seeing a fight between a virtually unknown boxer, whose real name was Chuck Wepner, and the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali, an inspiration struck him.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know, I was thinking about fighting.
He was moved by what he saw as a metaphor for a life when he saw an underdog take on and nearly defeat Ali, the champion, in a boxing match. In fact, he was so moved by what he had witnessed that, upon returning from the bout, he shut himself away in his 8 feet by 9 feet flat for more than 3 days. And by the time he emerged from his flat, he had finished writing the screenplay for the film that would be known as Rocky.
Rocky, what do you think about the fight taking place in the Spectrum?
Well, I'm very happy about that.
Why?
Well, it's only about 10 minutes from my house.
Even with the script in hand, he couldn't assume instant fame. No, there were other difficulties to be negotiated. Sylvester wrote the script, but he hasn't found a producer or investor yet. But when he finished auditioning for a film, everything started to fall into place for him. A film that Robert Chartoff and Irwin Winkler, 2 acclaimed filmmakers, were directing and producing. That audition obviously didn't work out for him.
You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
But he made the most of his opportunity while chatting with Robert Chartoff and Irwin Winkler before departing the set that night. During that discussion, he bravely brought up his passion for writing and shared some of his ideas with the film's creators. They were so interested in what he had to say that they asked him to visit their office at a later time to discuss his ideas further. The rest, as they say, is history. The 2 directors were so impressed by Sylvester Stallone's script that they decided to acquire it from him and turn it into a movie. Upwards of $300,000 was offered to Sylvester Stallone, which was more money than he had ever seen before. Yet he knew that if his script was successful, he would always be sorry that he didn't try out for the lead role. He decided that starring in his own movie was his best chance at making it big.
Oh, they offered, well, I got in excess of like $250,000, and I had about $103 in the bank. But
And your
But-
wife was pregnant?
And my wife is pregnant, and my dog was eating furniture, and
As a result of lengthy negotiations, he turned down offers of up to $360,000 for the sale of his work. He was successful in negotiating the sale of his script for $25,000 on the condition that he be cast as the film's protagonist.
His name is Sylvester Stallone, but you will always remember him as Rocky.
Sylvester Stallone's final success can be attributed in large part to his decision to take a calculated risk by rejecting what would have been a massive payout at the time for his script.
And the winner is Rocky, Irwin Winkler and Robert Chardoff, producers.
The Rocky film was a huge success, and its popularity spawned a string of similar box office smashes. Sylvester Stallone says he never would have dreamed he'd be this successful. And it all came about as a result of his success philosophy of accepting nothing but the best. It occurred because he was prepared to endure deprivation and hardship until his dream came true.
Everybody should change.
He was ready to bear the blows of life and risk everything to make it big. And he achieved his goals, acquired everything he wanted, and hit it big because he had a vision of what he wanted and pursued it relentlessly to the end.
Live for nothing. Or die for something.
Sylvester Stallone is perhaps one of the most successful and well-known performers of all time, and his net worth is now among the highest in Hollywood.
I could do that.
Sylvester Stallone's accomplishments give us all reason to believe that anything is possible. It shows us the steps to take and the obstacles to avoid on the way to success. Hence, learn from his mistakes and successes to better equip yourself for the work ahead. Listen to their advice as you embark on this difficult journey. And may they inspire you to believe that your ideal future is within reach. Finally, may this tale encourage you to have faith that your efforts will bear fruit in the end.